Linda and Bernard are going to Poland.
Berni.
Oh, okay. I'll
First
call
of
you
all.
by your official Polish name for the next few weeks. Are you excited for the trip?
Till now I wasn't, but now I'm excited, yes.
And are you a bit nostalgic about the idea of going to Poland, or
Yeah,
zero?
No, I am. Till now I wasn't, but now that I think of it, I'm really happy that after 65 years I'm going to see where my parents lived and where I was born. It's going to be nice, especially now that you've done some research. And as far as Poland goes, it's like when I visit Poland, it's a duty of every Jew to visit a cemetery. So I look at Poland like a big cemetery with 3 million Jews buried in a big cemetery. And that's how I feel that I'm going to see, not because I want to see the Poles, because 65 years have elapsed and I never went back once. Let's go to Capri instead. Where's the vodka to eat, to drink a vodka, l'chaim?
What are we going to eat there, Daddy? I've bought some things.
I got lots of nuts.
Oh,
and
me too. We
raisins.
probably bought all the same things.
I'm sure the Poles are big fressers. We won't be short of food. We'll be alright. I'm not concerned about the food. If they let us out alive, it'll be okay. That's the main thing. Till we come back, adios. Do widzenia.
I tried many times before this trip to try to get my father to do a trip to Poland, but every time I brought up the idea, my father said he would rather we went on a family trip to Italy. With his love of travel and pasta and good coffee, and with the number of trips he has done to Italy, I began to wonder if our ancestors were Italian. Berni never had an interest in Poland, and he even avoids admitting that he was born there, so it came as a surprise to me, and to him too, that he wept as the plane landed on his parents' soil in Krakow.
It's so beautiful here. It's a boiling hot day and it's a magnificent town. It's my travelling group. And look at Poland today. Trendy noch. Typical Krakow shops and coffee shops today. Okay, I can hear that Berni's arrived in Poland. Hi, welcome. Anya's sister. It's Anya's. This is Anya's sister. This is my friend.
Anya is our cleaning lady in Melbourne. She, like Berni, is from Poland.
I've got some things for you. What was emotional?
I can't talk about it.
No, what did you say? Tell me. Did you get a surprise when the plane was landing? You felt emotional?
Absolutely great. Uncontrollable.
Really, Daddy?
I can't explain it.
Were you with Bernard?
Yeah.
Did he give you a hug? It's the birthday of a Rebbe today. And the guy's interviewing from the Herald Sun. He wants to know everything going on about March and everything else. And here's the March all arrived. And it's just a balagan. And Berni's brought all the worlds together. No, just tell me for a minute. No, but that's the idea of the trip. You just turned around and suddenly he was crying. So you just saw him just...
I had to go to the toilet and get him some tissues.
Yeah.
Good.
And what did he say?
He was speechless.
Really?
Even he admitted it was a moving moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not that sort of person. I don't cry with the tears coming out.
Yeah.
That's what a trip like that does to you.
Yeah.
I just
All right, Daddy's decided to take the Herald Sun reporter for a beer, being the good Aussie bloke he is. You Aussie blokes.
Aussies don't go anywhere without a beer.
Daddy's talking his mother tongue at the pub. My father was born in Poland, and this is when he was a little boy, and it's the first time he's come back. This is the Herald Sun reporter. What's your name? It's Neil. He was reporting at Gallipoli, so now he's come to follow up and do this story. We're just saying hello together.
I don't know, my daughter's crazy about me. I don't know what I'm going to do. My wife should be like her. My wife should love me.
She is. She really missed you when you left.
She must. She's let you come here. So
This food is going to be kosher, you understand? When you eat kosher for more than 1 year, you die. That's it.
So Neil, when you need an escape, just give us 3 wings.
Yeah, in the black hat. Yeah, he was at my son's wedding.
Now he's just telling me about the song that you sing, Amore.
Yeah.
On my own, I like it. But I don't know whether your voice is good enough to
No, I'm not saying you're right.
give you a bit of training.
Just do one line now to practice.
In Napoli. Unless I get paid, I don't sing
We have
about.
a gondola on the other side of the
Look, it's the mishpuchas here. It's the Goldsmith girls. It's going to be very interesting. Lots of happiness and lots of emotion.
Was he in relation to Bob Reddy? Yeah, he was the grandfather of the Bob Reddy.
And your father used to talk about him?
He always talk about the Bob Reddy. He was very famous Reddy in my father's days.
There's 70,000 Jewish people living in the country. 70,000. In Krakow, 70,000.
All in Krakow?
All in Krakow, 70,000. In Warsaw, it was of course much bigger community. According to this what I know, in Warsaw were living 80,000 people.
He was one of the Schindler guys that got saved. Schindler.
Ah, he just guards the synagogue.
wie ständig sonnig schein und die Natur dein
The cemetery in the middle of Krakow next to the synagogue. It's magnificent.
Verreiler Sacharum gesprungen in Getot men uns geheißen gehen.
Your taxi driver from the airport?
Yeah, I asked him whether there's many Jews. Of course, he says there's not many Polish, not many Poles, not many Jews living in Poland. But he said that even so, there's not many Jews. That the whole country is, the politicians are mostly Jewish. So I said, how can it be when there's only a few Poles? How can? I said, I don't believe what you're saying. It can't be. He says, so we should check whether it's true or not. Maybe they're right.
But we know it's not right. There's not enough people here to run the country.
Some Jews get into it. And I'm going to check it. I bet you he's right. I don't think so.
Polish security for us, I think. Daddy, is it security for us?
Well, it's security for us, and I'm asking if there's sometimes trouble. That he says seldom, but there is sometimes trouble, and that's why he's with us.
We're happy you're here. Very good. Very dobrzy.
Look at us already bludging and having coffees out. Come, Bernard, you can sit there. You'll be warmer.
When they have lecture and they have debriefing, we'll come and have coffee.
Yeah. Here we are at Auschwitz. There's a fence where people would have tried to escape unsuccessfully or would have committed suicide on the fence because they knew it was electric. Inside here are masses and masses of windows of all the hair taken from people after they've been gassed to be sold for textile. Grey hair, blonde hair, brown hair.
Keinem Kinder, wie zu der Rakederin, der Menschen so Blut geflossen ist in das.
You know what? It's even hard to walk around on the feet all these hours. It's raining today, but it's not that cold, and we call this suffering. It's unbelievable.
Seinen mir zu viel befeuillen oder zu berengen jeden Fuhren herum und schießen auf Banar zu seinen gewogen Stiefel.
This is it. This is when everybody was killed.
Und der sein gerissen
cyclone, 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and they started to remove the bodies. They dragged the bodies to the furnace room, where they have 6 ovens for the cremation. And we estimated probably 70,000 bodies they cremated just on crematorium number 1.
And probably quick, chick-chuck, in, out, in, out. And it was probably the Jews were working on it too. And where the ashes came out after. I'm just thinking about if your family hadn't left, you as a 4-year-old would have been here.
But we have to be proud of it. Here I'm a year. Here I'm a year only. Mine fails to get through on the email. I can rely
All the
on
survivors. And there's my survivor.
So fantastic.
Aussie.
Oi, oh, you Yenna Aussie, you.
Yeah.
Hi, Debbie. You again. Hello, Pauline. Hello, Judy. Bernie too. Tell me what the three of you are doing in Poland.
I thought I might see if I can find some boutiques.
We're on a journey.
I was looking for a pair of tights.
We're on a journey. Be quiet, girls. We're on a journey. We're just on this amazing journey, and we're just going to pay respect to our parents.
Yeah, to your beautiful mother.
And also
And your beautiful father.
too. And it's very special because we've got you inside tonight. Today.
Your side, yeah. Papa grabbing all the newspaper attention again. Herald Sun.
To show the whole world that we're still alive and we're going to continue and we'll never let this happen again. That's how I feel. And I'm not sad at all.
Right.
Not only food, I've got vodka, the best quality vodka. Number one, if you get cold.
Give him now.
For all of us. Pardon?
It's vodka time now.
Yeah, no,
He
he's not
hasn't
cold
had.
yet. Let him get cold first. So anytime you're hungry, come over. I've got enough for everybody.
You must have had friends and relatives and that who disappeared, I guess.
Distant relations. We were I don't know, we were very lucky. We were among very few that we got the whole family together. And as we were running, they were bombing, the Germans were bombing. And so we were very lucky that my parents got some message from some business friends from near the Russian border that just to leave everything and
Get
pack
going.
up and go. Yeah. So we got a horse-drawn carriage, whatever we could fit on, we put on, and we ran towards the Russian border. And it was just a miracle that on the way we weren't killed because they kept bombing.
Why bomb civilians? It doesn't make any sense, does it?
Because they knew we were Jews, they could kill some more. That's what it was.
Ani Mamin, Ani Mamin, Ani Mamin. Bemona Shelemo, Bevias HaMoshiach, Bevias HaMoshiach, Ani Mamin. Ve'af al pi she'yizmameach, im kol ze ani mamin.
The matches. And here's our gang.
There's 3 Aussies.
And just 20,000 people in front of us.
You know, because you were so young, like you feel that you survived something, or it was just like a blur to you? Was it real to you?
Because my parents just kept telling us, so I had no memory at the
Do you
age of
have any
3.
memory at all of anything?
Only later on in Russia that I remember that we had some hard times, you know,
Right.
living in Russia and trying to not to starve to death because
Yes,
even
you
then,
do remember that. You
yeah,
do remember
of
being
course.
hungry.
Oh yeah, of course, because even so we didn't suffer half as much as the people in concentration camps. But
So there was no yellow star or anything.
no, we Russians were good for us, but we had the same like all the other Russians, nothing. Just it was rations. Yeah, rations. They used to get a loaf of bread and it worked out to a slice of bread per day. That was all. So this wouldn't be enough. And I'm surprised that sort of I'm quite healthy. Seeing that from the age of 3 to the age of 9, I was starving for 6 years over the.
That's probably why you're such a gourmet with your children and grandchildren.
Maybe that's why we're eating all this.
Yeah, yeah.
Mincha on the bus. And there's Papa having to make a minion. Look at him, he knows a Bahar. And for rewards, it's vodka time. We've been on the bus 8 hours today.
Amen.
Amen.
How did you know that by heart, all that tefillah?
I'm a learned man. From the yeshiva.
You went to yeshiva
the
for 2 years.
The Bubba Rebbe yeshiva. You know Bubba Rebbe?
Yeah.
And my Rebbe. Oi. Papa, another Polish song, please.
We have to do it more.
A Polish song, your childhood song.
Krakowiaczek jeden miał koniku 7, pojechał na wojnę, został mu się jeden. 7 lat wojował, szabli nie wyjmował, szabla zardzewiała, tej wojny nie widziała.
Here we are in Brzesko. This is Jack. And Bernard. And Bernard.
Głowackiego was start from this. There is still Głowacki.
And what's written on the wall then?
Shoes.
This is probably where your father was born too.
Shoe? The shape of a shoe. That's the sole.
This is the Lieb, the grandfather's, likely to be the house and the factory. And it's opposite a church. And right in, this would have been the centre. And look who's here.
Could have been number 47 because it's an old building where the other ones are more modern.
The whole town goes to church. We've seen thousands of people piling in different sessions. So here's the whole square. And the business was on that street name, which makes us believe that it's here right opposite the church. Yeah, then Arthur said he was born in the bakery. He said you could walk out the church, turn left, and 400 metres down, either that street or that street. We found an old bakery near the directions Arthur says, but well, is it a bakery today? A bakery today. Cool. No businesses to be seen in Poland anymore anywhere. So Arthur, there's the church where you spat, and in one way if we turned left and walked down, we came to something that was a bakery today and was also once a bakery, with an upstairs to live.
My father used to say that, he used to tell us always that on Shabbat we used to go to shul, to the synagogue, and then afterwards the main thing was, he used to have a shuf in the afternoon, they used to go to sleep. But the most important thing was they used to have to eat bobbers, which was chickpeas, a lot of chickpeas, and herring and food, and lots of beer, and they used to have a rest, but never did they go to have rest until they really filled up proper, the stomachs were full. Then they used to lie down to have a good sleep.
This was a synagogue?
Yes.
There were many Jews in Brzesko and there were many synagogues.
And we're looking at two synagogues, the corner one and the one, the beautiful building down there.
It must have been the beautiful building because Arthur says he remembers on the top looking up at something.
What
So it
is
wasn't this. No. I have to ask Arthur if this is the synagogue. He remembers. He remembers looking up and it was beautiful.
They've removed any signs of it that ever been a synagogue.
And there's the address of the synagogue.
Lindy, let's hurry, it's very 10 to 8 in the morning, we're running late.
What is it?
Mummy, Berni and Arthur.
Here we are picking up some documents. Bernie can't wait to get the documents.
So excited. That's a filing system.
Oni specjalnie przyjechali z Australii.
I think it's time for a coffee break now.
Dziękuję.
They've never heard of coffee here. The whole town, there's not even one coffee shop.
O, chińska wyga. Niech sobie pan, to jest chińska restauracja.
Chińska, teraz
Tak, ale jeszcze nie otwarta na pewno.
Nie, dziękuję. Еще на самом деле стоит Chinese restaurant, I come to Brzesko to eat Chinese.
This is the only coffee place we could find. He's having dangerous stuff.
She says something, she's got certain bread with something, so I told her, I don't know what it is, but give it to me.
Taka, z ziarenkami. Proszę i te śledzie.
Probably I not want that you know some information about my history, and you can't.
You mean because of the war?
Maybe this is my personal secret about my parents, about my grandparents, and you can look inside.
So, Daddy, do you want to get a birth certificate?
Yeah, but it would really be very important for me. I can pick it up and look over it. This is how I was born. I was born the 8th of the 8th, 1936. What a beautiful document. I needed like a hole in my bloody head documents.
How much did the birth certificate cost?
Too much. Even for nothing at the moment.
How much was it?
I think it went up to about $12 or something.
$12? You know what? We should go and buy Arthur's. He would be very happy.
I don't think he would get a kick out of the certificate. If I brought him back a cake, he'd be much happier than with a certificate.
A cake like that? Oh my God. Daddy, you've lowered your standards.
If I go to Charles, could you find something better than this? This is already at market here. You would get a good deal half an hour. Actually, it feels quite beautiful. The sun is out now. I'm just saying that when you nowadays, when you used to see a queue, you straight ran into the queue, you stood there, and later you found out what you're going to get. Because whatever you were going to get, you needed anyway, because you never had much of anything. So come on, let's cross before the pressure.
Do you feel anything? Is anything coming back?
I'm getting spells coming through, like visions of my young days. We're about to go and see the cemetery, and the ladies in charge.
And show me.
There's dead people, they still lock them up with keys so they don't escape.
Look at the key.
Bo jak było zamknięte na raz, to 2 razy się może...
How to open it. Special technique.
Może się panu otworzy za pierwszym razem, ale pan sobie może...
Here we go. We got into the bank.
Is it been desecrated, do you think, or is it just old, like dilapidated?
It's just dilapidated, hasn't it?
So it's lucky because most of the cemeteries have been vandalised.
Here lies 200 Jews. Who were murdered by the the German barbarism. And the last sentence is, we should remember them. All right, we're coming now to what would you call this?
I don't know.
Room where they buried 3 tzaddikim, 3 generations.
Here we are with 3 tzaddikim, a grandfather and his son and his grandchild are all buried. Where for sure my papa would have come to light Yortzai candles or to pray.
The way we locked and unlocked, we could become keepers of the cemetery. There's big money to be made. There's at least one visitor every 10 years coming to this place.
Didn't we just eat 100 different things already this morning?
That's right. Come.
Daddy, you do what I say. Turn around.
Linda,
What's the rush?
Hier kannst du mal Bublot nicht gepischt hier.
Because she did.
So come.
The Okichim, what this town Brzesko is famous for. It's unbelievable. He found something else to eat. George told me he was going to need a lot to eat today, and it's so true.
Polish chocolate. I think it's nearly as bad as the food we're getting on the street from Israel, all the way from Israel. The best beer that my dad used to drink is a juice for Shalashidis Okotrim beer.
So Arthur said he used to finish Cheder.
He used to right here.
And then at 12 o'clock there'd be the news on the radio from the centre of Krakow with trumpets playing, and his mother would pick him up and quickly come home for lunch to listen always by 12 o'clock.
It's 11 now. So maybe we hang out for now and not here.
And the other thing we discovered was your father's brothers and your father's father all lived in Krakow. Only your family was here because Ruzha's parents had the bakery here.
And maybe they started a branch of shoe shop here. That's what they must have done.
And
That's what they remember. In 1989, something happened here on this side. So you want me to ask him what happened in 1939?
you know what? It must have been a much better town with Jews. Even that Arthur remembers the smell of the bakery. Today you smell nothing here. It's cold and empty. A cold beer and that's all.
I'm only drinking it because I'm embarrassed to take the beer back. But as soon as we go out, we'll spew it out. As we have to say, take it all in and breathe deeply. When I get back working at it was miserable talk. We went into a church. we nearly were going to string us up. If the priest would have announced that the Jews killed Christ, we would have been goners because we were the only 2 Jews in town. I'm just doing it to entertain you because otherwise you get really down.
This is the 3 girls who come back to their dad's house where he was born.
With his childhood Polish, Berni became a popular interpreter for our fellow travellers with their journeys to find their parents' homes.
Okay, she's coming up to the front.
I'm just going to bring the title.
To repossess.
Hi, I'm from Australia and this is my title. And, you know, they've never made a case out of getting his property back. We're certainly not going to. And that's what it is.
How did you say it to her though? What did you say, like that they won't be threatened?
I said to them, we just came from Australia and this young lady, her father used to live here and she would like to see it if it's possible. And the lady's going to come down.
Wait till everyone in Melbourne sees this video, how gorgeous you all look. You should see what I see through the box.
Oh my goodness.
The refugees have returned.
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah. She says she'll tell you everything. Come on, delegation. What will she get if she tells you everything? So I told her banana. What number?
82.
82.
To niestety, to nie pod tym numerem.
Tak.
Zostały numery zmienione.
Tak.
Tu był numer 72.
That was 72. Underneath there's cellars with wines and so on, but they've built this on top of it. So I could see this was too modern to be. And you can come up with another.
After our first day in Brzesko, it niggled my father that he hadn't spoken to one old person in the street to show his photos of his parents, that possibly someone might remember them. We found our 85-year-old woman, and though she didn't recognise them in the photos, it triggered deep emotion for my father just to have her look and try.
Ja mamy nie pamiętam. Wygląd.
What did she say?
She thinks the looks.
Tak.
That what?
Tak.
Daddy, she thinks what from the looks?
She left Brzesko in 1946, but she remembers from before about Cukier, name Cukier.
Cukier.
She came to visit here because her parents are in a cemetery. Yes, so she came to visit her. She says Brzesko changed a lot.
Yeah.
All the shops were Jews. You know?
No.
A week before that, her father begged the Jewish men to come that he'll give him a place where to hide. And he wouldn't listen, so a week after he got shot by the Germans.
Jakieś papiery, zawsze go wołała w ten sposób, że
Whenever she called the son, she used to clap him. She doesn't know whether it's because she couldn't speak or because she had a real Jewish accent and she didn't want to be found out that she was Jewish.
Oh.
To jest pani kawałek czekolady, ja już miałam dość.
Oj, dziękuję,
Nie
naprawdę.
chcę więcej, to jest kawałeczek tylko. To już mam dość, ja już nie mogę jeść więcej. No dziękuję bardzo pani, bardzo fajnie.
Bye bye.
She remembers, she's 85 or 84, which is a good age for her to remember because that means that she was like, when the war started she was 17, which she would remember. But she had some Jewish friends and she says here that they rounded up all the Jews and they took them to the ghetto. That they were only at random sometimes only used to kill Jews here. But otherwise, They took them all away.
And she didn't remember a bakery or a shoe shop? No.
She doesn't. She remembers the name Schindler vaguely. So she was an intelligent lady. She has, can you imagine, she can still see without glasses and read without glasses, and still her memory is terrific. So that was a good lady to meet, but how do you expect them to remember 65 years ago? Names of people.
Nu ist der Mensch gestorben, als schöne Magdalene geschenkt von Gott.
In Napoli, where love is king, where boy meets girl, is what they say. When the pizza pie, like a big pizza pie, when the sky seems to shine like you've had too much wine, let's amore. Bells will ring, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling, and you sing Vita Bella. Hearts will play dippy-dippy-day, dippy-dippy-day, like a gay caramella, lucky fella.
That's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. That's amore.
Bells will ring,
Ding-a-ling-a-ling,
ting-a-ling-a-ling,
and you'll sing Vita Bella.
Vita Bella, Vita Bella. Hearts will play,
Tippy-tippy-tay, tippy-tippy-tay, like a gay tarantella.
Lucky fella.
When the stars make you drool just like pasta fazool, that's amore. That's amore. When you dance down the street with the cloud at your feet, you're in love. When you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, signore. Scusa me, but you see, back in old Napoli, that's amore. Amore, that's amore.
Linda and Bernard are going to Poland.
Benek.
Oh, okay. I'll
First
call
of
you
all.
by your official Polish name for the next few weeks. First, I wanted to ask you if you saw your emails today. I know you're very up with technology.
Well, I know how to look it up, but I haven't had a chance yet.
You've been busy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if we are going to, or if we're not going to find the exact addresses because he can't find. The numbers have changed, and he's working on it. But when he went into the town, and he found like something that was once a shoe factory shop in that street or in that area. He saw. Someone want to show you the pictures. That's the one. We'll pretend it's the one.
I remember. What you do, you ask some oldies in that live in that area. And they will remember which number belonged to her.
Okay,
and I
so
might
this
even
is
remember my parents. Yeah.
So look at this picture.
He sent you that picture.
One sec.
Linda.
Yes.
And he thinks this is it.
He says that this is just happened to once be a shoe factory or shoe shop. And so have a look a bit close. All right. So there's one picture.
That's how it is now. And it's still a shoe factory.
No, it's apartments now.
So Linda.
And this is what it says on the wall.
Well, what does
Where's
it
it
mean?
in?
Or when we
Jaws. What does that mean? Dobsy?
get DOS, well, it's not very clear.
All right.
Lossy. Anyway, leave it go. Forget it. What we'll
No,
do is,
I'm showing you one more photo.
as we get there, we'll question the poles.
All right, does that look
The
like...
bloody poles.
And then there's something here.
Obuvia is leather goods.
Yeah.
That's the word obuvia. But this one I can't see.
She told me it means like heel.
Heel. Oh, well, that's maybe heels who were selling, and the leather. That's it, heels. Because people were fixing their own shoes, so they were selling heels.
Okay, so that might be it. And well, look, when I looked at the first
It's
picture...
definitely it.
Okay, so what are you rushing me?
Because we'll run out of film, movie. It's nearly Shabbos, I have to go.
Daddy,
Yeah.
remember, we're not here for a good time, we're here for a long
Hola.
time. So, and look at the name, look, there's the street name, it's that Rheineck.
Rheineck is market.
Was the factory in Rheineck?
Yeah, it was, yeah. She
There
said
wasn't a
Rheineck.
house in Rheineck?
The house was, but maybe...
Both were?
Yeah, maybe it was both, yeah.
So it just must be it. You know what?
I remember, this is it.
You know what?
What?
We don't have to go to Poland anymore, there's
That's
the
it.
picture.
You say, man, let's go to Capri instead, that would be much better. And we'll take the pictures with us.
Do you think, no really, could we change? No really.
You can catch a flight from Poland.
Alright, so,
Alright, what happens now?
are you excited for the trip?
Till now I wasn't, but now I'm excited, yes.
And are you a bit nostalgic about the idea of going to Poland, or
Yeah,
zero?
no, I am. Till now I wasn't, but now that I think of it, I'm really happy that after 65 years I'm going to see where my parents lived and where I was born. It's going to be nice, especially now that you've done some research. I'm excited that we're going to see things where my family came from, yeah.
Oh, that's good, that's nice
And,
then.
and as far as Poland goes, it's like when I visit Poland, it's a duty of every Jew to visit a cemetery. So I look at Poland like a big cemetery with 3 million Jews buried in a big cemetery. And that's how I feel that I'm going to see, not because I want to see the Poles, because 65 years have elapsed and I never went back once because I didn't want to see them. Not so much that I remember how cruel they were, but my parents have instilled that in me, that the Poles were...
But you know
not
what,
the nicest people.
you know what the irony is, I was reading an article that really we think, oh, the Poles are so anti-Semitic, the Poles hate us. But really, what was I going to say? But really, that was the place where Judaism was allowed to flourish for 1,000 years or however long it was, without any problems whatsoever.
maybe-
So really, it's the opposite. The
No,
Polish.
but maybe it got bad after the First World War, or just before the Second World War. There was a time when Jews enjoyed living in Poland, but then anti-Semitism grew, and with Hitler it became really bad. But some
I just
people
read
are
an
saying,
article that was sort of explaining that the Poles weren't really any worse. They're not worse than anyone else. There's good people and there's bad people, and you can't just write them off. They're an anti-Semitic
the
nation.
best example that they were bad is that after knowing that the 3 million Jews got killed in Poland, and we came back from Russia into Poland on trains like cattle, you would have thought that they would say, welcome, it's nice to see that you survived. So instead of that, they started bashing into us, and they said that Hitler, it's a pity they didn't finish you off. So how can it be good? After the war, they should have felt sorry for us and be nice. But no, they were still bad. So maybe not all of them were bad. I'm sure there were some good Poles too, but majority were not the best.
Do you think your parents ever had dealings with non-Jews with Polish, like in a nice way, or?
Well, I'm sure they lived happily because they were well off, and we had mates and so on. We had a good life in Poland. But then Hitler came, and that came to an end. The fact that I hate the Poles is not because I remember, but it's because what my parents have told me all along, how bad they were.
But you do remember, because you were old enough when you came back to Poland after Russia, you do remember them being awful,
Well,
don't
then
you?
I was only a few months, I was still a kid, but I remember that they attacked us on the trains, and to such an extent that we thought that was the end of us, that my Mom took us, me and Arthur, and we started saying Shema. We thought that we were going to get killed.
Really?
And that was after all this 5 years of suffering. That's what they did to us, the Poles.
And you remember that moment?
That I remember,
What were
yeah.
they doing?
They stopped the train as we were entering Poland, forced the doors open, and started bashing, took some people off, started bashing, robbing.
Officials? Or
All
people in the
Jews?
street?
No.
No, the people that did it to you.
They were, I don't know who they were. They were Poles, I don't know what exactly what they were, but that was the welcome we got. So how can you like somebody? I know that if I knew that the nation suffered for so many years and some survived, I wouldn't start attacking them. I would have welcomed them back to see, look, sorry what happened. But instead, so they can't be too good. But I'm sure there were good ones too. So that's it. So we'll see what happens, we'll see how it goes, and we'll discover ourselves whether how good and how bad those Poles are. It should be a nice trip. It's good that you're coming, otherwise I wouldn't have done all this research.
Yeah.
I would have just... I've taken some photos of the parents and us, Arthur and I, when we were 3 and 4, 3 and 5, photos taken in the main square, and maybe when I show it to some of the oldies, they might remember my parents, or maybe they won't.
Yeah. So how old would someone have to be?
Well, they would have to be 80. Then it would be now
18.
like 15.
Yeah.
They would be
15-year-old wouldn't notice or remember much, would they?
They would remember maybe. 15-year-old you remember, especially if you lived next to them or... Anyway, we'll see how it works.
So do you think what happened in Poland could happen here in Australia?
I don't think so. Why should it? No. Australians just want beer and football and they're happy. I don't think we hate it so much here. There's just a small minority that hate us. So I think we're safe in Australia.
Maybe that's what the Polish said. That's what the Jews said in Poland.
Yeah.
I'm sure they said
it wasn't the Poles that started all the problems. It was the Germans that marched in. It wasn't the Poles conducted some pogroms.
They were religiously anti-Semitic. They didn't want to wipe out the Jews, but they were...
Because they were told that Jews killed Jesus. And the priests were preaching that right from when the kids were little. And, when they're told that they killed their God, it's no wonder they hated us. But not to the extent that they should do what they did. So that's it, and we'll see what happens now.
So was the shoe business actually a factory or a shop or both?
I don't remember. I know that they had factories, one here and one in Krakow. But whether it was a shop, I don't remember. I'll have to ask Arthur whether he remembers.
The problem is the main thing I wanted to do was find the house, and we haven't had luck yet.
Well,
you don't have any photos outside
Well, I'm
the
sure
house.
that some of them will know that before the number was this. We'll get some clues. What can you do? If you don't know, you don't know. Unless we can go into the town hall. But who? Depends when it changed. If they changed it 50 years ago, who would remember? Maybe after the war they redid the whole thing. Okay, so that's all we can tell you.
Do you want the film to cut now?
Yes, let's go and eat now. Where's the vodka to eat? To drink vodka, l'chaim.
What are we going to eat there, Daddy? I've bought some things.
I got lots of nuts.
Oh,
and
me too. I
raisins.
probably bought all the same things.
Oh, shit.
No, I bought like little Japanese snacks and miso soups and...
We'll get arrested for bringing food into Poland. I'm sure the Poles are big fressers. We won't be short of food. We'll be all right. I'm not concerned about the food. If they let us out alive, it'll be okay. That's the main thing.
So that morning he's picking us up at 6 a.m.
To go and see the shtetl.
We have to be back by 7 for Shabbos. It's Shabbat that night.
It's Friday, yeah? All right.
So that cuts that.
Well, it's only half an hour, 3/4 an hour from Krakow.
An hour maybe, yeah.
No, the lady that I saw only a week ago, she said it takes about half an hour. So it takes an hour.
Actually, I forgot to find out about that holiday town. How long do you think it used to take you? How did you get there? By horse? What was the name of that town? Rybnik or something?
Yeah. If I see it, I'll remember it.
That's where they went for holidays.
We used to go on holidays. My parents used to take us for trips.
But you don't remember anything?
Tarnów or... I don't remember.
Oh, I better
When I look at the map, I'll remember because my parents used to talk about it all the time with the brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I think I've got it written down. I think you said Rybnik or something.
If they show me the map, I will find it because I just looked at it only this morning. And I remember Zakopane maybe, no, I don't know. Anyway, if I see it, I'll let you know when I get there.
I've got my notes, all the family members.
All right, so Lindy, that's it. We'll continue the filming in Poland. I'll look up the map and I'll tell you where my glass is. Who took my glass? I'll tell you in a jiffy.
It might, I don't know if everything's on there.
So I've got a question for you both there.
Yes, sure.
You guys have the same glasses prescription?
Yes, it looks like it, but if she cleaned them, it would help, you know.
I like to think that Berni's are stronger.
Tarnów was one of the places.
Yeah, there was one Hammersfield in Tarnów.
I remember Tarnów, that was one.
Sokolow's a big thing.
The glasses are not good for me, you know.
Not strong enough.
Sokolov, how far is Sokolov?
Not strong enough.
They're not strong enough, anyway.
Sokolov's quite far. Your holiday town would have been much closer, no? Because I can ask her, meanwhile, Christina, if I remember the name.
Don't ask anything. We'll look up in the map, we'll find ourselves.
I think I found it. I found it.
Bochnia was another place my parents used to talk about, was it?
Ralko?
No.
Rabko.
Rabka.
Rabka?
Yeah, Rabka, not Rabka.
Well, I've got R-A-B-K-O.
No, it must be P, R-A-P, Rabka. It was Rabka for sure.
Okay.
Does it show up? You see, when you say the name, I remember because my parents used to talk all the time about it, so there's no way I'd forget that. All right, so we'll get that.
So if we had enough in Brzesko, we can have a look at Rabko.
Well, Brzesko will be finished in 1 hour. What do you think? We'll just see.
But if we're going to try and find the house, we'll be.
Or we'll get to the square, and that'll take an hour.
Maybe we'll go to the cemetery.
No, cemetery is not my specialty. What were you saying, Eddie?
And Arthur said he remembers the synagogue. He remembers it. He said he remembers
the synagogue. Most of it is now something else.
Yeah,
it's a factory.
It'd be nice to go to the cemetery.
Yeah, well, that's most of what it'd be. Well, the cemetery they neglected. After 65 years, and they must have died like in the turn of century. You wouldn't even see the writing anymore. All right.
And so that's holiday city, Rabka.
Yeah.
Rabka. So would you have gone by horse and carriage?
Well, we didn't have. Maybe we had motor cars already then.
Okay.
I remember my father. We always used horse-drawn carriages. Yeah.
So then it can't be so far because you wouldn't have gone for. It must be quite close.
Could have taken a whole day to go. I don't know, but it must be close.
And do you have any memory of sitting on a horse and going? Gee.
No. Do you remember when you were 3? Especially when I travelled to so many countries: Russia, Belgium, back to Poland, Australia. So it's all getting confused. All these places. And since then, I've had 60 trips overseas. That comes into it as well. Okay, so it'll be lovely to be. Looking at other places. Okay, what were you saying? Were you gonna say something?
Like, for example, he doesn't know he spent a whole year of his life in Lvov.
I don't remember my parents saying.
Arthur said that when they left Brzesko, that they ran and they went to family in Lvov and were there a year before they came from Siberia, from Russia, to grab them to work in work camps. Yeah.
Could be, but I don't remember my parents saying that. I remember that we crossed the border and the Russian had trains and they took us. They needed workers. In those days, Siberia was for the worst convicts and murderers were sent there to work. It was the worst place in the world. So that's why.
Come in, Rachel.
Oh, there's Rachel. Rachula. Next time Rachel will come.
Rachel, ask Papa a question about Poland. Come on my knee.
No, she doesn't want. There's nothing she can. When I come back, she'll ask questions. Okay, so that's
no, it's not okay. It's not okay yet. What do you remember in the work camps?
What work camp?
What do you remember in Siberia? Was it Siberia? What was it?
2 years in Siberia we went first. I remember nothing.
Did you have a fur coat?
Obviously we didn't have. All I know is that afterwards when we left Siberia, well of course I nearly lost my nose. They're lucky that a Russian woman saw it and rubbed it in snow. And then after 2 years we went to Samarkand, which is...
Do you want to just tell us a bit about that?
Uzbekistan. Well, then
your nose.
It was a bit warmer there. Pardon?
Tell us the nose story.
The nose story? Well, I don't remember.
Right, that you were playing outside and then a lady came and she was just like a nose.
My parents told me, I don't remember. They saw, maybe that's Poland calling.
I put on mute.
Yeah, a lady noticed me that my nose was changing color. They can tell because it's quite a common thing. And lucky that she picked it up, otherwise I would have lost my nose. So and how they fix it is they rub in snow, and that's how they save frostbite. That's in those days. That's how they saved me. And after 2 years, we went to Samarkand, Uzbekistan, and there weather was a bit better. And we started going to school. I remember to go to school, we had to walk like 1.5 hours to get to school. And on the way, we used to get bashed nearly every second day. And my father started working, and the only food we were getting was ration. They used to give us black bread, which each bread weighed like a ton. And we used to get a slice of bread a day. That's all we were allowed to have. And my father used to bring from the factory, they were making soup which consisted of water, cabbage, and a few dog's bones, like bones. And it was, at least we had something to eat with a piece of bread, and that was our meal.
Do you remember the meals, or was just what Arthur and your parents told you?
No, actually, I remember what it's because I was told, but I think I remember we used to eat it from a pot, which he used to bring it home, and directly from the pot we used to take turns eating it, and that was about the main food we used to have. Fruit, we never knew about fruit till we got back to Poland.
No pineapples in Poland?
No bananas, no nothing. We didn't see anything. I remember the only luxury, there was no lollies as well. The only luxury, would you believe, was like chewing gum. They used to, from tar, they used to do road works, and we used to pick up pieces of black tar, and we used to chew that. Can you imagine how healthy that was? But at least it was tasted nice, and that was the only sweets we managed to get. And I remember that we used to walk such long distances to school, and I didn't even have any more shoes. I used to wore out my shoes, and we used to wrap rakes around our feet, and that's how we used to walk. Well, this time we're having luxury Puma shoes now.
Were no Pumas there in Siberia?
No, they didn't have Pumas. So I remember we used to wrap rakes around to keep warm, and also to walk on the uneven surfaces. And that was our life, and lucky that my parents took some valuables when we ran. They took some sheets, and they had a few jewelry pieces. So that's the only way we survived, by selling some of those things. Now and again, I used to go to the market and they used to sell it, and then we had enough money to buy sometimes a bit of food, and that's how we survived. And the only way another way was, you used to have to steal where my father worked, unless you were prepared to steal from that big factory. It was a government factory. Unless you stole some potatoes or rice or something like that, you wouldn't survive. So that's how we managed to survive, and that's the story. And then when we came to Australia, life got better.
So you say that you don't remember anything like from when you were 4. So what are your earliest memories? Like what?
I remember
what is the earliest?
Not so much from Siberia, but I remember from when we got to Samarkand, which was in 1942 or 43 or maybe 44. That period, I remember some of where we lived. The synagogue we used to walk to. I remember the house. I remember the toilet. The toilet was just a hole in the ground.
Where was this?
That was in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. And that was the toilet. And the house was out of boards where the wind was blowing through. And like 2 or 3 families lived in one room. We used to share one room because that's all we had. And that I remember too. And
one room, 2-3 families.
Yeah, that's all. And electricity, I didn't see it. That was the best. We used to burn candles. In the morning we used to get up, not so much candles, we didn't have candles, oil was a wick, and we used to get up in the morning, we had, inside our nose was all black. So that I remember too. And the first time I saw electricity was at the age of 10, when we got to Walbrzych, which was taken over from, it was a German city, which was after they were taken over by Poles. And then I remember when I saw electricity, I remembered for days, I used to stand switching on and off, and to see the globe going, it was like magic to me, because we never saw it till the age of 9.
I remember that you said the first time you had an orange or a mango or something.
Yeah, orange. We took one orange and we shared it amongst the whole family, 1 piece each, and the skin we put on top of the cupboard, so that the next day we used to eat the skin as well. And that was the first fruit I've seen, was at the age of 10. So that's how...
How did you turn out so healthy?
I'm really amazed. Maybe because the first 3 years we were well off, I must have been well fed. Maybe that's when it really counts, the first 3 years.
Mm.
Because after that I starved. It's a wonder that I'm still alive. So it must be...
Do you think you've made up for it?
easy, caught up well. But it must be that maybe the first few years in one's life, that's where the body, if it's well nourished, it grows up to be healthy. So that's the story. Okay, so we'll be there in 3 days' time, and we'll see how it develops. Okay, Linda?
Yeah. No,
So I'll
a
meet
few
you.
more questions.
Oi, vai, gewalt.
So imagine, like, I never thought about how much your parents must have been affected by what happened. Like, they were just, for me, nice old Jewish grandparents.
Yeah, well,
they must have been wrecked and panic-stricken.
Of course, they spent every moment of the day trying to get some bit of food or a bit of money by selling things to keep feeding us. And if it wouldn't be for that, we would have starved. That's the only way we survived, either by stealing from the factory or selling some valuables that my parents brought with them.
But I even mean later, after the war, just
Well, it was one big
reaction
Can
to
you
it all.
imagine, even when we came to Australia in 1950, March of 1950, we came with nothing, no money at all. And my parents, I was then 13, so I went to school, but my parents had no language, no money. Lucky that we had an uncle here that gave him a job when he came, but it was a struggle to survive. Can you imagine without the language? So they did a wonderful job to looking after us. They were really great.
You just left out Belgium.
Belgium was, what is, we had food enough, not the start, because as when we got there we had no food, but my parents managed to get myself and my brother into an orphanage. We went to the shul and he spoke to the rabbi, whether there's somehow, because they only had one room to live in and they couldn't keep us in there as well, whether there's any way that they can take us into the orphanage. And it was nice that the rabbi felt sorry for my parents and they took us in and we stayed there for about 2 years. And there it was, for Arthur it was tough because he was older. For me it was, at the age of 9 it was, we had nice food, we had nice, well, even so we slept in one room, about 20 kids, but at least we're friends and I had plenty of food. It was good, that's when it started.
And they taught
again.
you well? They taught you French?
Yeah, I went to a Jewish school. From there was a Jewish school in Belgium. We used to travel to a Jewish school. And it was quite good in Belgium.
Oh, so it wasn't
My
even-
parents were still struggling because to make some money they had to start off a factory. What they were doing is, in Belgium, to become a Belgian, to be allowed to start a business to work, you had to be a Belgian. To become a Belgian, you had to live in the country for 21 years. I can imagine what chance there was to do that. But somehow, being clever as they were, they took on a partner, a Belgian partner, and they started off a factory where they used to buy all the American army disposal, like old uniforms, socks, and so on. And they used to resew them. From socks, they used to make gloves. From pants, they used to make jumper. And that's how they managed to make some money. And they took us out of the orphanage after 2 years when they had
Amazing.
enough money to start to.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that was all. It was a wonder.
Amazing.
They didn't have an easy life. They had a hard. And we are here in a wonderful country.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they got some nachas here. And they had all their beautiful young years. And
Yeah, well, here they worked hard as well. But then I started up the knitting factory, and my father sold at his grocery shop. And then things got better, and they bought an apartment in Israel. And they were living part of the time here, and part of 6 months here and 6 months in Israel. So they had a good life. They had a few good years after coming to Australia. And that's the story. Okay, so till we come back, adios. Do widzenia. Say the word you know. Say dupa. Which is not so
Sorry, say again?
Dupa.
Right, so do we have an explanation of translation, Berni?
Dupa is not such a nice word, it's a behind. It's a tuchis in Yiddish.
Any particular one, big or small, or just a tuchis?
Just average. Like this, it encompasses everybody. That's that word, you see? I use those big words. Okay, Lindy, so let's make Shabbat. It's Friday night and we are
Anything
leaving
else?
in 2 days' time to see how Poland will treat us.
Okay.
Last words, Lindy, before you go?
Just no.
We'll see how it feels. I feel positive. It's going to be good.
And any
I'll have
particular,
my daughter with me.
Any particular food you're looking forward to? Old Polish food that is a childhood memory?
No, there's
like a
nothing.
rotten potato or something?
There's nothing that the Poles can offer me, except to see where we were born and where my parents lived. That's the only thing. That's the only reason I'm going. Otherwise, they have
we'll
nothing
see
for me.
It's 60 years of the commemoration of Auschwitz, and
Yeah.
Sharon will be there from Israel,
Yeah, that should be good.
and there'll be thousands and thousands of
They say there'll be 18,000
16-year-olds and
older
adults
people.
marching.
There's going to be 18,000 people from all around the world. And that'll be a beautiful feeling when we all march. When we all get together, will be on the day when we march from Auschwitz to
Birkenau?
to
Birkenau, I don't know how to pronounce it.
to another concentration
Birkenau.
camp, which is a distance of 3 kilometers. And that's when the whole group, can you imagine when 18,000 people march. And actually someone just told me a few days ago when he was there last year and they were marching, he overheard, he was an older guy, he understood Polish, and he overheard one of the Poles say that he's surprised that so many Jews were left living, that he didn't know there were so many Jews left. when he saw 18,000 people marching.
So you're going to be maybe sort of looking through the real estate pages, looking for a holiday house in Poland?
Yeah, well, maybe we'll pick up something cheap and...
Maybe we'll pick up our own house.
I don't think they'll give it back to us.
Usually they don't want to let you in to look at the houses because they think you're coming to reclaim the property. I've heard stories.
But all the records were destroyed, so even if you wanted to reclaim, there's no proof. That's they made sure to get rid of all these. Apparently that's the story, they got rid of all the records. Now for you to start proving that it was yours and all that takes years. And then once you, like Richard Frank told me that after all the proof that you have, then they ask you, have you got the proof that your grandfather that owned the property is not alive anymore? Now Richard is now 75, so the grandfather will be 150. Can you imagine that you have to prove that he's not alive? And then when you prove all those things, then they say, look, you haven't paid your taxes for the last 65 years. They put a bill on that.
Oh
you'll
no,
finish.
that's outrageous.
Well, if you want this, you have to pay.
So you got nothing?
I don't know, he's still got the case going, but he'll finish up with high court and giblets, he'll finish up. So that's it. So, we sign off.